Let S answer a question that S been asked since humans. First looked up in the night sky and saw these strange creatures swooping around. Why are bats the only mammals that can fly? Hi, it's me, and this is Minute Earth. There are over 1,200 species of bats, and they make up half of all the mammal species on Earth. So why are they the only ones who have evolved the ability to fly? Birds also evolved from dinosaurs that lived on the ground, but took to the skies. It seems like the perfect solution. So why don't more mammals wish for wings? Well, as nice as flight is, it's not all that great for your sex life. In the Philippines, there's a bat that's about the size of a large dog. It's one of the few mammals that can actually hunt other flying animals. It's related to flying foxes, which are actually more closely related to humans than they are to bats. But they don't look anything like us, and they spend almost all of their time in the air, where they slurp mangoes off of trees. See, bats have to travel long distances to find food and water, which means they have to leave their home roost. That means that when it comes time to mate, males and females have to find each other in the dark, which is hard to do when you're basically a furry ball of awkward. But if you're a good flyer, you can get to the good stuff quicker. So being a good flyer can actually increase your chances of successfully mating. So it pays to be airborne. They share a common ancestor with bats, but their wings are made of feathers instead of skin. But birds and bats both face the same problem. A female bat can give birth while hanging upside down from a leaf or a twig. After that, she can just hold her babies under her wings and bring them along for the ride to wherever she's going next. Not only does this keep them safe, but she can nurse them while flying, which frees up her hands to forage for food. Because their wings were so big, their limbs couldn't support their weight. So they both ended up with relatively small bodies, which limited how heavy they could be. That SY, the biggest bird that can fly, is about the size of a raccoon, and the biggest bat is about the size of a house cat. Well, the ability to fly doesn't just appear out of nowhere, as they both ended up with hollow bones with thin walls, just like today's birds. But hollow bones aren't good for much else. They're fragile, so bats and birds had to evolve other features to protect themselves from injury. Birds evolved to walk, hop, and run, but they didn't retain the ability to walk well on the ground. Their ancestors lost the ability to retract their claws, which makes it hard to navigate on solid ground. Bats, on the other hand, retained the ability to curl their claws into little fists and grip branches. So while they're not great at walking, they don't fall over. Before becoming airborne, flying animals need wings. Wings, as we know, require a lot of energy to build. So before taking to the skies, an animal has to ask itself, will this be worth it? Will the benefits of flight outweigh the costs? And throughout most of mammalian history, the answer has been no. Bats, though, evolved from a group of mammals called chiropterans, which means hand wings. Their wing bones are actually modified hands with elongated fingers connected by a membrane. These ancestors of modern-day bats lived during the Cretaceous period, between 145 and 66 million years ago. And while there are no bones from these early bats, scientists think they were small protobats that glided from tree to tree using flaps of skin like a flying squirrel. But eventually they took it to the next level and developed powered flight. And bats weren't the only ones who did this. But even with their smallish bodies, bats and birds still needed lightweight bones to support themselves. So bats get the benefit of flight without the downside of clunky limbs. Being airborne also helps with parenting. Of course, being able to fly gives bats the ultimate escape route from terrestrial predators. But that advantage doesn't always work. Now, I've always wanted to fly. If you could fly, where would you go first? Let us know down below. Thank you for watching.